Hey, good afternoon. It is afternoon. It's 1300 hours, about 1302 in Birmingham, Alabama area. This is Keith Andrews. It is Monday, August 26th. I got that right. August 26th. Just for the heck of it, any in trivia, anybody got anything they want to tell us about the history of August 26th? Anybody know anything that happened in the past in August 26th? Nobody? Because I don't. I have no idea. I'm sure if somebody wants to Google it, we'll know. Oh, wait. Looks like Chad sent us a note here. Let's see. Okay. Thank you, Chad. All right. All right. So we're going to move on here. Dan, welcome. Blair, welcome. And what I want to do right now, we've got one very new face that's here on the screen. And because we're doing a recording, this goes out to about 100 and I've trimmed down my list, guys. I think I'm down to about 158 people now. This is going out to this recording every week. So we got Eric and we got Tom. He's got it in as Thomas, but we all call him Tom. So I'll let Eric start off first. And this will go out on recordings too, Eric. So go ahead and tell us about yourself, where you are, and
Yep.
welcome, by the way, to Keith's Commercial Crowd.
Thank you, Keith. My name's Eric Bashford. Was born and raised in Delaware. I've been with EXP Realty since 2020. Just joined EXP Commercial in 2024. I was doing a number of commercial deals at EXP Realty, and I finally switched over this past year. I'm looking forward to what you have going on here.
All right. Well, thank you, Eric. Welcome aboard. Well,
Thank
first
you.
of all, welcome to EXP Commercial.
Yep.
As you know, it is a different world than residential. And now you get to start experiencing all the different tools and I guess people. I mean, the number one strength that I've noticed in the EXP commercials world, and it's been since day one, since we started the company almost 4 years ago, is actually the people. And we're not silos. We literally are one company with 50 brokers.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. I mean, the only real silo you might experience would be, hey, I just don't know anything about multifamily, but Rich knows everything about multifamily. So, but is that really a silo? Because we're buds and we talk to each other all the time anyway. It's really not a silo. We help each other out anyway. So it's kind of different compared to most commercial companies. Tom, man, wait a second. Okay, listen.
Uh-oh.
I bet Tom in May of 2024. Now, look, I got to do an advertisement real quick, Tom. This is for what Eric, his baby and what we try to do every month. We started a guy named Eric Clark. He's been on here as well. He's over in the Atlanta area. Tom's over in the Atlanta area. He's in Woodstock. But what Eric and I thought of was, hey, let's do a monthly meeting in the Atlanta area of anybody CRE, doesn't matter what company, come together and we're going to do lunch and pitch. And all that was, hey, Eric and I are providing lunch. Come on. And you need to, take time out and tell us what's happening. What are you doing? What do you, to the rest of us that's in the room, what do you got going on? How can we help you? Oh man, that's a great listing. Yeah, thank you. I'm going to take that to my clients, whatever. And we started at May, the first one. And Tom walks in the room and Eric and Tom knew each other, but I'm going to let Tom have the rest of the story. Go ahead, Tom.
I don't know the rest of that story.
Well, okay, I'll tell you what Eric told me.
Okay.
He said he met you on the very first deal he ever did in CRE. Is that right?
That is right. I was surprised to learn that later because he was such a professional doing it.
There you go. So were you on the other side of the deal or what?
Yeah, it was our land, and his buyer bought it to put a Circle
Okay.
K with a drive-through on it.
All right. So he reached out to you and he invited to our lunch and pitch. And now look at here. Tom's on our call today and he's actually coming into the company too. So welcome,
So,
Tom.
filled out all the paperwork. No, Eric's a good guy, and he did a good job of selling me on what EXP is, and I see the opportunity here.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So, and I met you that May as well. So tell us about you, Tom. What do we need to know? I mean, you're here now. What do we need to know?
I'm coming over with my company, Business Acquisitions. I've been selling businesses for 30 plus years. The CCIM shows I also have some little commercial experience. And it's not like I did it yesterday. My first license was 1978. Let that one hit you. So I've played this game a while. My plan is for the next 5 to 8 years, take advantage of the businesses being sold, and part of this being here is being a mentor and help for all the people here that run into a business for sale.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. Who's got questions for Eric and Tom? Anybody? Hey, Brian, you need to change your camera there a little bit. Oh, there you go. Thank you. We just saw half your head there. So, okay. Thank you. Questions of Tom or Eric? Tom's going to be mentoring in business brokerage as well.
I'll throw one out. If Chad will send me his email, I'll send him an invitation to our next monthly meeting, because he already sent me one saying that he's in, he's close by. So he's here in Georgia.
Who's that?
I thought it said Chad on that thing.
No,
Chad.
I'm from there, but I live in Palm now.
Oh, okay.
His mom actually lives up there in the Jasper area, is what Chad told me.
Yep.
Yep.
Blue Ridge, but yeah, close enough.
Blue Ridge. Okay.
Was up there yesterday on the motorcycle. Beautiful day.
Yeah, if you're gonna ride bikes, that's the place to do it. I wouldn't ride a bike in the city to save my life.
No. Nope.
Okay, I got some questions. Before Brian, you got something? Were you going to ask a question?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask a question to Blair, but if we're talking about something else, that's fine.
Well, wait a second, Brian. Before you do, Eric Bashford, you see on this Zoom here, you came in late. Eric is sitting in Delaware. You guys need to know each other. Got it? Okay. Tom. Oh my goodness. Tom Truong is in the house. Rich, you're
Just-
good at that?
Just pop it in to say hello. Hello to my friends. I'm gonna mute myself while I drive. I just left the Regis Office Park. I think you guys all know that you have access to Regis, 3,000 locations across the world. I had a listing appointment, landed the listing today. Popped into a Regis to do a 2-hour training for our team on how to recruit. And I love being mobile, baby. I can work from anywhere around the world.
That's right.
Rich Anderle, I want to hear from you. Where did you move to? You left LA.
What?
Where did you get that from?
Yeah, he's in
Oh,
Pasadena.
not Rich. Not Rich. Somebody just left LA, didn't they?
I don't know.
Never mind.
I don't
Never
know,
mind. I
Tom.
said that. I'll be
Okay.
a fly on the wall listening.
That's okay. Thank you, ma'am. So Brian, so Eric, Brian, you get to know each other. You can find each other in workplace, whatever. You can post yourselves in the chat here. But Brian, what were we going to ask? Ask of Chad.
I was just gonna mention to Blair, because I thought
Blair.
he made a good point in the workplace about tenant representation, because I think that comes up in workplace and people are really confused about, and I've dealt with this with a residential agent in my market. Somehow, I successfully walked them through it, but I thought that was a pretty good way to, I don't know if you're mentoring with that, Blair, but the like showing people how tenant representation and the contracts and what to pay the tenant and buyer reps is important, because that's the majority of what I'm doing. So that I was just going to mention that I see that as a pretty big need.
Hey, Blair, that means you have to unmute and you have to respond. That's how this works today.
Brian, I agree with you. That's why I posted what I did. And interestingly enough, we had this conversation on Keith's Zoom last week about the,
Did you catch that recording, Brian?
I thought I was on last week. Maybe I missed the. I am paying attention now, because now you guys have incentivized me with this domestic thing to bring the girl on board. So
Oh, you like
a little
that
more, and I
domestic
got
team
stock
stuff. Okay.
in EXP now.
All
I got
right.
like 300 shares, so I got to see what you're all up to here.
Okay.
But Blair, yeah, I think, and I'm going for SIOR after next year, I think, Blair. So, somebody has to write one of my things. So you might have to, no, I know quite a few people, but I don't know if you need like 3 good years. for SAOR. So, we'll see.
All right.
It's a big mountain to climb, but it's well worth it.
All
That's
right.
what I want to hear. I appreciate that.
Okay. So I got a question. Unless somebody else wants to bring up something. Anybody want to bring up anything real quick?
Yeah, I brought it up in chat, but
Oh.
it's not a huge priority. Just curious, what lead generation strategies you guys are using other than cold calling and networking? Any pay-per-click, any mail, anything besides the usual two recommendations? I had another one I thought, but I can't remember it now. That's it.
Hey, so let me run over the ground rules of my Zooms for the new guys. I don't answer the questions. It's up to you guys to answer the questions. So if you can answer Chad's question before I throw out my 2 cents, that'd be great.
Oh, I remember the second question. Sorry, and it's relative. With regard to networking, where are you spending your time for the most part? BNI, chamber, golf course, etc.
We're on the long pause.
Okay, I guess I stumped everyone.
Chad, I'll jump in. So unfortunately, I have not golfed with a client in I don't know how many years, but I used to do it once a month. Nothing better than having a one-on-one for 4 hours with a client. So if you get that opportunity, take it every time. As far as networking is concerned, I mean, Keith is a big proponent of CCIM. So any of the local chapter functions are great networking events. Anything commercial real estate, whatever your title reps put up, anything you can do that makes sense. Just if it's a monthly thing, just make that commitment to it. But that's, I'm a guy who really hasn't done much in terms of networking, given what happened with COVID. And I'm a grandpa now, as you all know. So I have not networked nearly as much as I would like to and I miss my friend Keith. When's the last time I saw you, Keith? 5 years ago?
Man, I don't know, Rich. I really don't.
But other than that, Chad, you know me, I'm an old school guy. I believe very much in cold calling. No one's yet told me in 30 years a better way to prospect than cold calling. I do use technology. I think the bulk emailing is amazing. I spend a lot of time making sure and overseeing my database so that I do emails very specific to a particular group of people. I don't just blast it out to everybody. For example, if I got an off-market opportunity in Dallas, I'll put some stuff out to my California people to see if they want to go put some equity into Dallas, things like that. So, and then of course with the bulk emailer, they tell you how many people opened up and all the good stuff. So those are the ones you call. And it's old school, but again, no one's ever told me a better way to do it than working the old phones.
Well, I do cold texting right now. It does pretty well. But I'm just looking for other.
Chad, what are you looking to? What's your niche? Like, what are you working on?
I would say I'm a generalist. I don't really do multifamily, so most of my stuff is office and retail,
Yeah.
and I would say 70% leasing.
So yeah, I do office and retail, some warehouse flex. I just did a warehouse flex. I tend to want to be just medical, but spread out. So for office and retail, I mean, are you on Google? Do you have any Google reviews?
Oh yeah, that's Google My Business is by far my #1 lead generation
So
source.
I mean, I look up where I rank on like Tyson's Corner where I am, and I end up getting calls inbound quite a bit, just ranking wise. But I also supplement by using a company called Tenant Base. Where are you located out of?
West Palm.
I mean, if you want to have an advantage and a constant stream of leads, and you're okay paying, almost $2K a month, then they would be. They work as a supplement to me for my referrals, so I usually have a pretty constant stream.
That's tenant base?
Yeah, tenant base. The only thing I'll say is it's going to take a while before you cash in on it. You might be like, this lead sucks, da 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 da. So sometimes you got to make what do you like, something out of, you got to be able to talk to get them to do the deal terms and the stuff you want them to do.
Sure.
And for me, like Cornet Global, I think I'm going there in terms of networking. DC, for me is that's like a big where some of the big wigs are, I guess. So I'm trying to get more into, some of the bigger user representation, but for retail, man, those guys are everywhere. At least in our market, it's pretty hot. Office, I do a lot of medical, so they're come from my relationships. Office is really hard. I can barely get medical to want to go into office. So I would target government contractors. They're out there and medical.
Yeah, medical's an area that I want to. I'm definitely thinking about specializing in. I just did a
Oh,
10-year deal for a
2-year
plastic surgeon.
deals is garbage. I wouldn't even, don't even entertain. They want
10.
short term, tell them to go to the landlord.
10
Hey,
years.
let's get the Blair's guy's hand up.
I think I know where this is going. I was going to suggest that Tom put his input in, and he just said he would follow me. So I'm going to introduce Tom because I just spent 2 hours on a Zoom meeting with him, and
Hey,
I
listen,
gotta
wait.
tell you,
before-
this man's got the answer to that.
Yeah,
He'll talk about it being the residential side, but I'm telling you, I got a whole page full of notes after sitting on a 2-hour meeting with him.
yeah, that's awesome. All right, thank you, Blair. Hey, Tom.
Yeah.
Before,
So
hey,
maybe
Tom.
go ahead,
Tom,
Keith.
Tom, Tom,
Yeah.
Tom.
Yep.
Tell us what is an alpha at EXP, because that's going to matter. These people understand where's this information coming from. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Alpha is the basically the top 0.001% of agent attractors in the company. There's less than 65 of us who have personally sponsored a minimum of 25 frontline agents who qualify, meaning they're closing transactions each and every 6 months, and a total of at least 1,000 agents in their revenue share organization. I've personally just sponsored basically 70 frontline agents. Jim Huang is just one of those 70, and Jim has led into the rest of the organization now, spanning 1,300 agents worldwide. So that's who I am. 13 years in the business. To answer the question about prospecting, coming at it from a different perspective, guys. Reach out to residential folks. If you have access to MLS, if you don't, then reach out to me and I'll put you in touch with an agent in your local market, and not just local, because you could go national. Low-hanging fruit for prospecting, Chad and everybody. Call every residential agent. There's about 1.5 million realtors and about 2 million of them who try to do commercial. They try to take a lease. They try to market a shopping center. They try to do an industrial deal, an office building, and then they fail miserably because they don't have the tools to do it. Our MLS in Boston allows it. Most MLS in the United States, there's 600 of them, allows agents, licensed agents, to put a commercial listing in. We all know, Rich Edelman shaking his head, that's like, they're never going to freaking sell the damn thing, right?
Right.
So
Right.
call them and partner with them. Hey, I see you're doing this. Would you like to have a partner on it? Here's a really gold mine. Go after the expired and the canceled.
Yeah.
Either go direct to the owner themselves because you have access to that data on who the owner is through all your channels, or just, hey, that residential agent probably has a relationship. It's probably their uncle, their aunt, their relative somehow, and that's how they give them a shot, but they have no access. You guys can say, how would you like me to revive this listing? Put me on the deal. I'll pay you 25% of something, because 100% is zero, still zero.
So
Yeah, that's
agent
great, Tom.
attractions on my radar to get going this year. How much, being a solo agent who doesn't have a team yet, how much time should I apportion to attraction, do you think? And energy, I
That's
guess.
really up to you, Chad. It's really up to you. You got to make that decision. I'll give you my answer, what I did it. And looking back, I would have done it totally different. Right. I was a producer 6.5 years ago. I sell one house every 10 days. My team still closes a house every 10 days here in Boston. I don't do the work anymore because with the system, I can manage it out. But I asked Scott Lewis and Gene Frederick and Ralph Flick the same question. And they say, well, what's your goal, Tom? I said my goal is to make $250,000 in revenue share a year. If I can get $20,000 a month mailbox money directly to my bank account, directly deposited into my Bank of America account on the 20th of the month, I'm good. I don't have to live an
Yeah.
extravagant lifestyle. 20 grand a month works for me.
But
And they says,
Tom,
okay, well, how
you're
fast do you want
recruiting
to do it?
residential, right?
No,
Like
no, no,
that's
Brian.
your
No, no,
revenue
no.
share.
No, no, no,
Like
no, no.
I'm down
recruiting
line
commercial
from-
as well. I recruited James Truong, a commercial president.
Yeah, I know. But what I'm saying is like it's totally different recruiting commercial and their success. I mean, it's easier if we were recruiting residential agents to me. 'Cause it's more-
Actually,
I would beg to differ, and you
it's
know
easier.
why?
I would not beg to
Brian?
differ. I
It's
want to see
easier.
your commercial and residential changes, and I want to see their success with EXP as a newbie coming in.
Sure,
That's what I
sure.
want.
We can take that offline, but I think it's a lot easier to recruit commercial agents. Why?
We have a cap.
No one exactly. No one can compete with our cap.
We have a
On
cap.
commercial
We have
side.
we have the same systems, but we don't have to pay as much for anything else.
Well, I'm talking about like their ability to succeed to get to that cap is what I'm saying, because that's the way we get paid in the revenue.
Can I interject here?
Yes.
My first 2 years, I started during COVID. I was with Illustrated Properties for about 6 months. Then we moved over to Compass, which is a garbage organization for commercial. Some might argue that it's garbage for resi. I'll leave that discussion to you. Year 3, I moved to EXP. In the first 2 years, I might have done 4 deals. Now, granted, again, it was COVID and COVID recovery, I guess. Year 3, I moved to EXP. I did 15. Also, within a year and a half, I capped. And I firmly believe that's a function of who you are, who you surround yourself with, and you are what you surround yourself with, right? And so I actually get on calls with people that are doing agent attraction, and they're like, "Hey, can you get on this call with me?" Usually, it's a residential agent who's trying to recruit another agent for commercial, and like, "Will you get on the call with me to like talk about your story or whatever?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure," all the time. So I don't know if that helps, but there you go.
Yeah, so back to the answer the question about marketing, lead generation. This is not about attraction. We'll take attraction offline. If you call me, and I'll talk with you, Brian, offline. But leverage the residential agents. They are a massive referral source for us. For those who have been farming the referral network, for the commercial referral network, there's gold in there. The beautiful thing about all of you guys who are with the EXP commercial is you're not restricted territorially. You could be sitting in Alabama and help coach an agent doing a deal in Dallas, in Texas, in California, in Florida, in Maine, and you can get that referral income. You can get the mentoring income, the split. There's no boundaries. If it fits your box in terms of what you guys specialize in, right? You can help them.
Right.
That's it.
Agreed. Nancy Dong, tell us why I tell you to reach out to residential agents first. Out of anywhere else, where would you get your business? It's residential agents are number one. Tell us why.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah.
What's
your story, Nancy?
Oh gosh. My story is that I'm a newbie since February, and I come from real estate investment and ADU building. And before that, I was a fashion designer. So it's a big, hard pivot. But I've been under Keith's tutorship, and he says to go and network with residential agents. And true enough, all my leads so far, I mean, I'm getting this close to converting to a couple of contracts, are from residential agents. So one of them is residential agent trying to take down a commercial deal, and she's not effective, so she came to me. And others are just referrals on Workplace. So it's very powerful. And I haven't even implemented all my cold call strategies, which is coming, but so it's great.
All right. Chad.
Hey.
Most of us, my story was real quick and easy. Rich and I and Jim sat around and listened to EXP talk to us for 9 months about being their commercial company. And things changed because we were a bunch of franchisees. that wouldn't pan out. So at that time, I said, I got to go with you, Jim. And I became the first licensee. And at that time, they had 38,000 residential agents in 11 countries. The bulk of all those were here in the US. And I said, that's why I'm going, guys. Are you kidding me? I mean, that's 38,000 potential referral sources. That was my number one thought was I network and I do referrals. That's all that matters. And what we have to do, and we're still doing it, it's been almost 4 years, as you know, it'll be November 6th. It'll be 4 years as far as the first licensee. We have to continue to educate all of these residential agents just inside EXP that there's an EXP commercial brokerage. They still don't know it. You have tons of opportunity. And I'm going to tell everybody watching this recording, you need to go to residential agents, just like Tom said, but you need to go to ones, anybody that's in your market too, not just EXP. And you'll have tons of business. I promise you. My mentees, the first 2021 was the first full year that we started doing mentoring. And of course, I was one of the first mentors. In 2022, that year, my mentees did $430,000 in GCI, and almost all of that came from referrals, most of it from me trying to find a mentee to help handle this deal, because that's how much is out there. Okay. That's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's a sheet that, but I'm not dedicated to multifamily only like Rich in the world he's in. Yes, what he's doing makes total sense.
Yeah,
He's got clients
definitely.
from 30 years of business.
Multifamily seems like a very good to work with residential actually, because don't they do a ton of multifamily too? I would think. But yeah.
Does anybody have any other answers to Chad's question for leads, for opportunities to come your way? Anybody else?
In my MLS, in my multiple listing services, and I think I ran these numbers more than a year ago, but I bet you if I run it today, it's going to be the same. Guys, if I go into my multiple listing services where 40,000 residential agents and some wannabe commercial agents leverage the biggest MLS here in Massachusetts, 40,000 of them, and I search just commercial land listings, and I see what percentage of those closed versus expired or canceled, I'm going to say it's less than 20% closed deals, which means 80% of those agents had relationships. 80% of them could not close, and they lost the deal to a true commercial practitioner or somebody else. That is a gold mine.
There you go. Thank you, Tom. Okay. Anything else for Chad? Anybody? We're good?
Well, I have
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
Max.
Regarding Tom, the reason I've noticed it here too in Memphis, because most of these people that they take land listings, honestly, are just order takers. They don't have any idea of what the price of a particular parcel of land per se acre or per square foot and all that, and what use is that particular piece of land conducive to, but they go ahead and list it, and the landlord says, I want $1 million, and they put it in there. And that's all, the end of it. They don't do the study. They don't do analysis. As a result, that stuff sits on the MLS and nothing happens.
Yeah, and frankly, they have no idea. They could be totally, they could be doing a total disservice to the seller because they have no idea what the maximum and best use of that land is. They have no idea how to aggregate, how to get a couple of deals, put it together, and make something big out of it. No clue.
Yeah.
Low hanging fruit.
Most of my deals recently have been coming from expireds from residential agents from the commercial side on the MLS. One land deal that I just recently closed was the agent was a residential and told the seller that they have it for like 1.2 million, and the actual land value was about $450,000. So like I was an uphill battle just because they felt that I just took $1 million away from them because they were already spending $1.5 million. And I'm like, no, your property just wasn't worth that much. The agent just didn't understand what property values were worth. So you really have to get in there and really know your value.
Excellent. So again, my comment would be the more residential agents know that we exist, the better it is all around.
I get a lot of phone calls from residential agents because I was a residential agent and then I switched over. So a lot of the residential agents
Brent?
know who I am.
Yeah, Brent, you had your hand up.
Yeah, I have a question directed at Tom Crumpton. So I'm a
Ah.
CRE guy and with a relatively new, about a year old into business brokerage. What importance, speaking of lead gen, do you give to drop letters? You know, putting a little letter on their front door, hey, you want to sell your business?
I've never done a manual drop. When I was in Florida, there's some guys that did that. I do the old fashioned letters because guys that own these businesses between 50 and 70 get 100 emails a day. They get 3 letters now. And I'll go to a guy's office when he finally calls me and he'll pull out a folder and he'll have 8 or 10 of my letters. That's when we're that, and that's our most effective direct marketing is just direct letters.
Okay, thank you.
So Brent, if you need a great mentor and you're done with yours, you can call Tom because he's mentoring you now.
Noted.
He has applied and has been accepted as a mentor.
I mean, I will admit that I did get a residential referral, a really good one targeted out of a whole bunch. It was for a medical building that was turned into a medical user is going to purchase a building in DC.
Perfect.
It's coming down to the end and, somehow this, things didn't work out in the financing, but it was exactly correctly targeted. So there is definitely the potential in that route. I definitely agree with that.
Hey, Max.
Yeah,
Hey, Max, you got the last word on this. I want to change subjects, okay?
Okay, be that way.
Okay.
One thing that I just experienced, I do a property management, and I just took over an account, and I went to meet each individual tenants and all that, and out of 8 tenants in one strip center, I got 4 leads. People wanting to buy a strip center. People want to buy a space for entertainment, parties and all that. And a guy wants to wants help finding a house and all that, which I'm referring that. But that's one way, if you do property management and you extend your friendship to the tenants and all that, you're going to find out there's a lot of people who have needs.
Good job, Max. Love it. Look, I want to take advantage of Tom being here. Here's my question, Tom. The last 3-4 weeks, I've listened to Sean Murphy do a lot of talking about lots of things in EXP commercial, a lot of things going on. And you guys correct me, but I thought he said, and the reason I'm asking Tom this question is because the alphas have the finger on the pulse of both of our industries in Wall Street and everywhere else. Okay. So I'm taking advantage of Tom being here. And you guys correct me. Did Sean not say of all of the publicly traded companies of commercial, everybody's decreased and we're increased like 25% or something like that? Does that sound right to you guys?
Well, no, I agree with him 100%.
Yeah. And that alone has got to tell all of you the story that you probably should be talking about, like Tom was talking about as far as agent attraction and stuff, right? Did you want to add or clarify anything, Tom, or you want to say anything about that at all? Or
Yeah, I mean, for the publicly traded real estate commercial firms to disclose their numbers on the 10K, we're definitely the strongest.
Yep.
We're still debt free, we're still liability free, and we're paying dividends. Look at how many publicly traded commercial firms are paying dividends. Last quarter, we paid out 8 cents. That's the highest ever. There's a start, right? Commercial agents, you guys know your numbers. How healthy are you? And will your commercial brokerage firm, forget about will they last? They probably will last, right? The big boys, the guys who sit in the corner offices, they'll always have their little black book of deals that they control. And they'll have the little minions who run around to try to earn 40% commission, 50% commission, because they know how to use and abuse the minions, right?
Yeah,
At EXP, we don't do that.
I like that.
I have to work with a lot of those minions, so it's kind of hard, but yeah.
Yeah.
And Brian, that is a recruiting gold mine, my friend.
Seriously. Every time that I talk
That's what I
to,
thought I was gonna be, but I just haven't found that path yet. I had to get my numbers up.
Go ahead,
No,
Eric.
Brian, you and I need to talk offline.
Go ahead, Eric.
We got to talk offline. I saw you text me. I'll touch base with you.
Eric.
I was just gonna say, every time I have a conversation with a commercial agent, after we meet, I always try to get them to coffee, because once they find out that we have a cap, we have all the other platforms that they have. It's just that we don't have to pay for it as much as they do.
So
It's-
I want to take this statement to the marketplace for all of us dealing with our clients. What's the best way to position this kind of information today with our prospects and our clients of brokerage, business, or property? It doesn't matter, as opposed to agent attraction, because we got a lot of people involved with transactions. So what's a good positioning statement or statements because of today, because of who we are, and our competitor are the big boys, and we're branding EXP Commercial. We're not branding Keith Andrews and Rich Enderlin. We're branding EXP Commercial first globally. And then when they reach out to EXP Commercial, everybody in that company's going to say, oh, you got to talk to Keith. You got to talk to Tom. You got to talk to Brian. You got to talk to Blair because of this, or Chad, or whatever, Rich, because of this or that, right? So what are the good positioning statements we could do with our clients or prospects, knowing the stuff about Wall Street, or knowing our financial wherewithal, not wherewithal, but our health, financial health compared to the other people? Anybody got anything?
I'll take a crack at answering that 2 ways. Number
Okay.
one, for the real estate commercial practitioner, a good opening line statement might be, hey, Brian, I'm curious, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the platform, the commercial platform brokerage that you are currently on, the past 12 months to help you achieve your financial commercial goals, to put money in your pocket?
Excellent.
Most agents will come back and say 7, 8, 6. Okay, well, cool. What will it take to get it from a 7 to an 8? Would having a coaching call by the best of the best in the business twice a week, on a Monday and on a Wednesday, help you? If you have burning questions that you can't get answered, questions because your broker is too busy or might not want to share, how about I invite you to a commercial crowd call where everything's fair game, where you're going to find the spirit of collaboration, where you're going to find folks across the country who will pour into you and help you get your questions answered, number one. And then on Wednesday, we do it again. How about coming to Top Agent Nation, where James Huang, our immediate past commercial president, brings on commercial rock stars to talk about what they're doing in the industry. You have 2 options each and every week to get your questions answered. Ask them a question and tell me if they don't answer the question for you. Or are they holding the information close to their chest? There's an opener. Okay. Number 2, for the client, ask the client, show me what your commercial practitioner is doing to market your property, whatever that might be. Before you ask them that question, do the research. Research to see if their listings are boosted on LoopNet, on CoStar, on wherever they are, on Build Out, on the business brokerage platform, or is it a cheap little listing on Biz Buy Sell? And then look at our tools and show them how we can set ourselves apart by helping them with more marketing tools, more marketing firepower, and ask them, do you have access to 708 commercial full-fledged commercial agents across the country to help promote that listing, the customer, is your agent at Marcus, at Sperry, at N.I. Hanneman, allowing all of the other N.I. Hanneman, Sperry, Marcus agents to market their listings worldwide? Or are they holding that listing close to their chest as well? And at EXP, we'll find a different culture. There you go.
Excellent. Blair, you got something?
Tom, I'm going to prove I took notes. One of the things that was brought up immediately today was asking that other broker, how much did you pay your company last year?
Okay, let's shift over to the client.
I start with one thing, Blair. Start with what was your gross commission you sold last year? And they're gonna start pounding their chest. Dude, I sold $1 million in GCI, baby. And then how much did you put in your pocket?
Yeah, that happens a lot. But Blair, let's go back to the client side. Taking the information of what you know about EXP Commercial today, how do you compete? How do you win the business? That's my question. Tom gave us one big one.
Are you asking me?
Anybody. I'm asking anybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, in my case, I've got an advantage because I've got decades of proven successes to show. So, and not everybody does that. But from the same standpoint, the tools that are available need to be at everybody's fingertips, and they need to know them cold so that they can demonstrate that to
Let me do
potential
something. Okay,
client.
let me try something different here. Tom Crumpton,
Yes, sir.
you have been your own person for several years, your own little firm, everything. Okay. Rich Enderlin, you came from the past, Marcus Millichap and those guys. So tell me, from a small person, not small person, I mean, yeah, you know, you eat well and stuff like that, but I'm saying from a brokerage perspective, how would you compete for the clients, or did you not worry about it because there's plenty of other clients that fit your world? And Rich, how would we at EXP Commercial talk better than JLL or CBRE or NAI or Avis and Young or SVN or whatever, you know? So
Well,
whoever
I
wants
would
to-
go back to the historical. I mean, when I was at Marcus and Millichap 1,000 years ago, we had two distinct competitive advantages over everybody else. Number one, environment. Back then, technology was server-based, so everybody had to go to the office every day. So you had 100 brokers that would descend upon a single office, tremendous energy, tremendous learning opportunities, tremendous synergy, back and forth. Deals were flying all over the place, and so you had access to it. So also with technology too, CoStar was really the only game in town back then, and we were the only ones that had it. And so all investors, whether it was mom and pop or institutional, had to come through us. And when I say us, I mean Marcus, CB, all the big boys, because they were too afraid to leave any money on the table. They had to come through us for an evaluation. That gave us tremendous listing opportunities. So you take those two advantages, and I will never regret my decision to go to Marcus and Millichap all those years ago. That doesn't exist today. That doesn't exist at all. Those two major competitive advantages are no longer in play. So you're still paying 40 to 50% of your check to a CB or a Marcus. So you fast forward to today, technology is abundant. CoStar still is a tremendous product, but not the only game in town. Institutional investors, anybody worth their salt has their own CoStar license. They don't need us or come to us for an evaluation. They know exactly what it is. And if you want to look back historically, back then, maybe 5, maybe 10% of the deals were principal to principal, no broker participation. Today, that number is probably 35 or 40%, and we have far fewer brokers now. So those advantages of the Marcus and a CB or whatever, they're gone. They don't exist. And so what are you paying them for when you've got all the technology you could possibly want? We've got a great tech package comparison to anything. The only difference, of course, is they don't pay for it monthly. We do. But anybody worth their salt who's grossing 400, 500, 600K or more a year, I mean, what do you care if you're putting it out monthly or you're getting it for free from them? I'm more than happy to pay my CoStar $500 a month, my tech package at $250, and a couple other things that I do. Rather than have it given to me for free and passing on 40%. Do the math. It's pretty simple.
Yep.
On the business brokerage side, I just always worked real hard, and now at this age, I'm the most experienced guy they see. So I know what my competitors do, and there isn't a Marcus, there isn't a JLL on the business broker side.
True.
On a commercial side, I sat on the commercial board of the ACBR Atlanta Commercial Board for a decade. That's the largest commercial board in the country. So I sat at the table with Cushman's industrial guy, with Marcus's industrial guy, with J&L's industrial guy. And I just realized that there's no way I was going to, it was going to be much tougher to compete against those guys in Atlanta. So I'm out in Woodstock. And on the secondary and tertiary markets, the competition's not that bad. And then I just go back to the fact that this is all local, and I'm local. And anybody they're sending from Marcus or Cushman out of Atlanta, they're not local.
Okay. Anybody else got a last thought? I got the recording still running. We're 3 minutes over on the recording. Anybody? I'll turn the recording off then. Well, wait a second. Wait. Before I do, announcements. What do we need to know? What's coming up for all of us? Where should we be? I can tell you a couple, but I'll let somebody else speak first, whoever wants to. This is going out on a recording, so everybody knows. Go ahead. Anybody?
We have the industrial committee meeting tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern.
All right. Anybody else? Okay. So Max and I and some others, we will hopefully see you in Nashville September 13th, all day long, in person. It's a commercial mastermind. It's open to residential as well that wants to come check us out, learn us, see what's going on. Love for you to invite your people that are in other companies that have looked at you and said, there's just no way you're doing 100-0 splits in commercial. We'd love for them to show up so we could teach them that as well. But we got some great speakers, people coming from around the country. It's going to be there September 13th. Okay. That's an EXP commercial fun day. It's not sponsored by EXP commercial. It's just we're all EXP commercial. So we'll be there. All right. Tom, you had your hand up. Or was that your thumb? Your thumb was up. Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. And then let me go ahead and give you this. Save the date. I'm saying it on the recording. Save the date. November 14th, Atlanta. November 14th, Atlanta. Hopefully a couple of people here will be there speaking. I would say Rich and Tom for sure. November 14th.
What happened to Eric?
Thursday. What?
So what happened to Eric?
Eric? No. We're talking about speaking. Eric and I are hosting it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So November 14th in Atlanta, we've already got the place. And now we're checking out 2 of the hotels that are close by for people to stay overnight. That will be a week after our 4th anniversary of EXP commercial. We're going to go ahead and make that a non-sanctified or whatever the word is, celebration of 4 years of EXP commercial. So anybody that's here, if you can make it, that'd be great. In between those two, love to see you all at EXP Con. Last week of October, people. If you're in Florida, I think you're required to be there, according to Brittany.
Yep.
Pretty much. All right. Anything else from anybody on announcement the rest of this year that we need to know? About commercial. Okay.
Did you hear anything? Keith,
What's that,
did you hear
Max?
anything about the CoStar? I thought we were supposed to get it 2 weeks ago.
No, Max. No. Sean is working on multiple technology platforms and packages. And the latest and greatest is we will have choices in the near future of what we want. And we will pay a fee based on what that is we want to utilize. Did you caught that right, Max? You heard that part before, right? And that it's not just CoStar, and you and I know, and Rich and several others here, you can't get anything straight with CoStar until after the fact, and then it still changes. So That's a constant unknown unless you just put the money out of your pocket right now and get it. You know what I mean?
Do you think that he'll wait until Con to make the announcement?
About what?
CoStar?
No,
He won't. He don't think he'll wait. Okay.
no, there's no waiting on technology stuff.
Okay.
You know that. I've been here almost 4 years. I've seen technology just show up. It just shows up. There's no rhyme or
Well,
reason.
no, I
putting
know
it
it gets.
off
I know
until
it gets
some
cut
major
without
event
any
or something.
notice.
What's
I know
that?
it gets. I know it gets
I'm-
cut without any notice. I haven't seen it the other way.
I'm
Okay.
sorry I missed something, Keith. What CoStar announcement?
What's that, Tom?
What CoStar announcement? I missed something.
There is no CoStar announcement.
Has anybody reported on like Moody's, if they like Moody's or?
Yeah,
if-
yeah. And Moody's is Zillow is partnering with Moody's, and that's supposed to roll out as well, like Max is thinking,
Yeah.
with the research department. So they're going to become supposedly a true competitor to the CoStar.
That's bullshit. But I do in my market, we definitely need CoStar. But I always see in workplace advocating for these stepchild, substitutes. But I totally get in different markets, maybe you don't need CoStar. But it just that's a big. Seems
Hey,
like it's a
Brian,
big thing.
Okay, so I'm gonna, if there's no other announcements, I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the recording.
Oh,